the immune system of the plants, because it'll be important if we want to cultivate plants in space long term or on other planets that can resist diseases. We've also studied how to water those plants in an autonomous way and get them aerated and get them the nutrients in the plant water management study. So we've done several studies that will help us in the future. Sophia, we actually have several experiments mounted on the outside of the space station, looking back on Earth on the outside of the GEM, Japanese Experiment Module, that look at different things, the ozone, aerosols, the carbon levels, dust in the particles in the air. And so because the space station has been up here for decades now and passes over these regions and can get a long-term view, that can then inform decisions made how to counter climate change. Over. That's a good question. I think that remains to be seen, but I do know when we're talking about, right now we have a lot of automated systems and autonomous systems that help us, but in terms of artificial intelligence, I think when we start talking about going places like Mars, where we can't just reach back to ground, or we have an entire team of people to help us, artificial intelligence might help to fill that gap. Over. Sure, the Prometeo project was just performed recently by the Axis 3 crew members who were up here. It was a study the Italian Space Agency came up with, and certain diseases, basically, such as Parkinson's disease, where oxidative stress causes impairment to the cognitive and behavioral functions. And so this study was looking at how antioxidant nanoparticles could maybe protect the neurons and prevent that degradation of cognitive and behavioral functions. Over. I think there are several things. First off, I think, reuse and recycling are extremely important. As we go further, we're not just going to be able to easily ship supplies, so that's something that's incredibly important. Figuring out radiation, as we go further in the solar system, how do we protect humans from the effects of radiation? And then also just looking at psychological welfare and how do we handle that stress of being away from our home planet for such long periods of time and from everyone we know and love. Over. Yeah, you're right. We're carrying out several studies, lots of human research experiments in general on cardiovascular and other systems, to understand how things like the weightless environment impact. A lot of things up here in the space environment simulate rapid aging, especially to our vascular system and our arteries, and that can then be applied to help us go further and do longer duration missions further out in space, and also to help us back on Earth. Over. I think a lot of the things we do are the same as you would do on home, back on Earth. Things like trying to prevent contact, wearing masks, dependent on how that specific virus spreads, cleaning surfaces, hygiene, cleaning hands to try and prevent that spread. Up here, one of the biggest things and most important things we do is try to prevent viruses from coming up here in the first place by quarantining before we come to space. Over. Flavio, it turns out all my crewmates and I have agreed that time seems to actually go by really fast up here, and there was just recently a study that showed this as well, that at least the perception for astronauts is that time moves faster in these launch